The Grumman F6F Hellcat. The scourge of the war in the Pacific. It racked up the most Japanese aircraft kills by any Allied fighter craft. A game changer for American naval aviators. Can this 15cc model carry on the legacy? Well, let's find out. Ironically, I had to fly a naval plane on a very wet runway. Well, at least the winds were low. Though I couldn't help but have the feeling I was being watched. Okay, so my previous video, I went through building and setting up this Hangar 9 15cc Hellcat. And if you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's got some good information in it on how to build it up yourself and some of my trials and errors and that kind of stuff. And now, if you recall, this version is powered by the Power 60 electric motor running on 6S LiPo. So I'm really anticipating flying this thing. I've been waiting several days for some nice weather, and it looks like it's going to be a good day out today. So I'm really looking forward to giving this thing a shot. So let's give her a try. With the little kitty energized, I was off to commit flight. All right, Hangar 9 F6F Hellcat. Oh, so I turn the throttle cut off. There we go. Right, left, up, down. Full rudder. See if I can avoid these puddles. It's a new plane. I don't think it needs to be washed today. Immediately upon takeoff, I realized something was not quite right. Gear up. Sounds like I have the Varios on. Oops. The trim set. It seemed the telemetry auto-config turned everything on, including the climb indication. There we go. Which was very annoying. You lose. You can play Pac-Man while you fly. Otherwise, the model was flying quite nicely. So the controls feel good, despite the lamentations of the transmitter. Let's try a roll here. Roll's good. I wonder if there's a mute switch. This is very nice. Very solid in the air. Handle's quite nice. Just had to get the trim set. Look at that. It's a real nice looking bird. I'm gonna try high rates. High rate roll. There we go. That's the good stuff. Yeah, even the transmitter agrees. What are you talking about? I got more lives left. See how the power is. Wow, look at that. I also seem to have the low voltage warning set point too high. Wow, she just... No shortage of power, look at that. There we go, I think I like this. To save my sanity, I had to land to reconfigure the transmitter. Let's bring her in. Where are the puddles? Puddles! I've done better. That landing was not my finest hour. Game over. Game over. Back on the ground, I disabled the variometer feature on the telemetry announcements. Best to leave that to gliders. With a fresh battery and a much quieter transmitter, I could concentrate on ringing her out. the abundance of power being quite irresistible.
Oh my God, it really does not.
It is also easy to handle and has good presence in the air. It will knife edge fairly well, but I think it needed a bit more rudder throw. However, you can yank and bank it with confidence. And in general, I found the controls well balanced. Warbirds can sometimes be fickle machines, but I didn't notice any bad habits. I was very comfortable in its handling, including low inverted passes. I could really throw it on the sky at ease. Successive and aggressive maneuvers could be done in a very confined space. I can see why the real one was so successful against enemy aircraft. Flight times were good, with at least 5 minutes on 5,000 mAh battery packs. The Hellcat maintains momentum very well in the glide, so you can cut the throttle early on in the approach.
Right over the puddle.
Though a burst of power is useful for avoiding puddles.
Only plain dry.
So, as you can see, I found this kitty pretty tame. The build may take a few nights, but in the end, you're rewarded with a very nice flying model. Ground handling is very good, and the Power 60 motor provided exceptional power on 6S and a 10.8 prop. It may be a little disappointing that there are no flaps, but once I increased the elevator throw a bit more than recommended in the manual, she slows down pretty nicely for a landing. Other than that, the controls are well balanced, and the model has really good presence in the air. Nice kitty. Game over.